Okay, Miss Jakia in the house.
Hey.
How are you?
I am well. How are you?
Good. I am terribly sorry to be starting so late.
We're here.
One thing you'll get to know about me is sometimes I run on island time, and I'm not proud of it.
Not
It's like
a problem.
I'm juggling so many different things, so I appreciate your patience.
Absolutely.
I'm so glad to have you.
I am so glad to be here.
So I usually like to start these conversations off with a very simple, who are you and what do you do?
I am Jakia. I am an artist, songwriter, entrepreneur, and I do videography and I do everything.
No kidding.
I'm an artist. I am a creator.
In this day and age, it seems like you have to be multifaceted.
Absolutely.
Right? You have to be able to be, like you said, your own videographer, your own promoter, your own booking agent. You got to write the music because nobody's going to do it for you.
Nobody's going to do it for you. And then you get to learn. You get to learn and you get to teach others. If one day you get a team, you kind of know how you want it done.
Yeah, I agree completely. I pursued a rap career for a long time, and one of the things you realize is like for a long time I was always looking to build a team, right? And teams would come and teams would go, but you would see like I have to be able to do all this myself.
Absolutely.
And like you said, once you have it dialed in, then when you do bring somebody on, you're able to like oversee what they're doing.
Absolutely.
You know? But it's sometimes funny when you're very knowledgeable about videography and you start telling a videographer, no, I want it like this. Sometimes people aren't very receptive.
They don't. Some are open because they want to learn. And I feel like as artists, we know what we like.
That's right.
But some don't want to hear. They have it their way and they like to do it their way. But I think open-minded is always best.
Yeah, it stifles the creative process when somebody leads with, no, that's not going to work, and let me tell you why. And
Absolutely.
it's like, let's just try it. Maybe it won't work, but we'll never know unless we try.
It can be discouraging too.
Yes.
Like, we haven't even tried it. Let's at least see what it's like.
It's funny, and I get it because people are like, well, I've made it this far doing it my way, so why would I do something different? But, you know, I like to say it takes a village, you know?
It takes a village for
when
everything.
You're in a village or a tribe, like, you got to be willing to be dynamic and shift and whatnot.
Absolutely.
But when push comes to shove, it's like, I'll shoot my own video.
I will get it done. Because when you're in a creative space, and you want to get something done, you don't really want to wait.
That's right.
It's like moments. It's waves. It comes in moments. It's not always there. So it's like, can we get this done?
Yeah.
No? Okay, well, I'm going to go figure it out.
One of my favorite things to talk about is like the creative process. And like when you say it comes in waves.
Absolutely.
I think it's really wild how... So Jay-Z has this line, he says, you turn the instrumental on, you crack the door, and you let God in.
Boom.
And there's this like divine intervention that happens in the most creative of moments.
Yes.
That feels like it's less like you're coming up with something and more like you're channeling
Absolutely.
something from somewhere else. Is that the way you see it?
Yes. I feel like it speaks to you. It's another way of speaking through energy.
Yes.
You know, it's speaking to you. So it's like you're bound to open up and create and be and do when you're hearing whatever this is, this frequency that's coming into you.
Frequency is a great way of putting it. And I often wonder, like, where does that come from? Like, some people call it the muse, some people call it the universe, but the best songs I've ever written, it felt like I didn't write it. It felt like I was just a medium for it.
Absolutely. That's for me also.
Yeah.
It's like, honestly, before I write anything or if I know I'm going in to write, I kind of surrender. And I surrender and I let God in and I say, speak through me, because when I'm writing songs, I'm writing them about life. I'm writing them about what I'm going through, but I'm also wanting it to connect with the right person.
Yeah.
And so it's like, this can be your book. This is your story. This is whatever you want it to be. And it's like you're writing these lyrics. You're mapping it out how you want it so that when someone listens to it, it's like, wow. Okay, I can connect with that, or I feel that, or that's been a part of me also.
Yeah.
So.
There's something beautiful about music how, there's sometimes people say like math is the universal language, but, it's music.
It's music.
It's unbelievable how, and you can really see
music.
it now in like these huge music festivals, and
Yes.
EDM is really kind of, it's having its moment right now, but you're seeing sometimes hundreds of thousands of people
Absolutely.
all together to hear one song. They all speak different languages, yet they know the lyrics.
Yes.
I'm often I think of that video of DMX where he has like I think 100,000 people in the crowd
Yes.
of all different languages and cultures and backgrounds.
Absolutely.
It's
That
beautiful.
reminds me. That is so beautiful. I saw that one time when I went to a Chance the Rapper concert.
Okay.
And the guy next to me did not speak English at all.
Yeah.
But we were all in there singing the same song because they could relate to that. And we're feeling that frequency.
Yes.
Because that's what it is. But everybody's in there is so happy. That's why what you listen to matters.
That's right. That's right. What do you think that is about music being so like binding us all together? Do you have a philosophy or an idea on why that works so well?
It's a universal language. I think that it's a movement. It's a something. If you're deaf, you can still feel that. Even when you're deaf, you can feel that vibration, the bass, the beat. If you can't see, it's like you can still hear and feel it. So it's like a universal thing where no matter what it is, those 808s, those beats, you're going to feel that.
Well said.
You're
It's
gonna
almost
feel
like a
it.
heartbeat.
It's like a heart. That's a great way of putting it.
Yeah.
It's the beat of the heart.
Yeah. And I think when we get together in numbers like that and we find something that unites us through a rhythm, it's like we're unstoppable.
We are unstoppable. It's power. It screams power. It screams togetherness.
Yeah.
We all in one.
Yeah, I can't help but think that sometimes that's why the quote-unquote powers that be would prefer that we didn't gather in those numbers in that way,
Yeah. Absolutely. Because what happens when we unite and become powerful,
Yeah.
we're unstoppable.
Yeah, there's this funny like little clip that's going around from the movie Ants. It's an animated film,
I love
and
Ants.
there are grasshoppers that are like the bad guys, and the grasshopper says, "Listen, the ants outnumber us 10-1,
Yep.
and we keep them down not because we're afraid of starving, but it's because we know that if they become united and they
Yeah.
realize how many that they outnumber us by so much that
Wow.
they could overthrow us in no time."
Absolutely. Wow, that's something to think about.
Right?
And I've watched Ants, but I don't remember that part. But that's a good analogy.
It's the little video clip has kind of been circulating recently, and it's so true. And you can't help but think that that's kind of why they like want to put us in so many different boxes,
Segregate
us
us.
versus them. But if you come to like a local watering hole like this, you see like, wait a minute, we're all the same.
We're all together.
Even if we have slightly different beliefs in this or that,
Absolutely.
like a song comes on and we're all singing along.
Absolutely. Love is the key.
Yes.
Love is for everyone. If we all can just love one another in spite of differences, in spite of us not agreeing on certain things, even different music.
Yeah.
We come together and we love, then it's like, but that's happiness brings love.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have to find that happiness
Like within
yourself.
Yeah.
That
But-
wholeness, that happiness within you.
Kanye, who is painted out to be crazy,
No.
is
Genius.
brilliant. Have
He's
you
a
watched Genius, the documentary?
I've watched this documentary, absolutely.
So good.
I wrote like 2 songs after that
Really?
because I was so inspired.
Yeah.
It's like I love documentaries because you get to really see people on another light
Yeah.
instead of what everybody is trying to tell you about them.
Yeah.
And so the fight that he had, the faith that he had,
Faith. Yeah.
the unstoppable, it doesn't matter, I'ma get it.
Yeah.
I got it out the mud, I'm gonna get it out the mud, and I'm gonna keep going. I was like, wow, Kanye, you inspired me.
Yeah, so much inspiration. One of the things he says is they try to control us through knocking down our self-esteem.
Absolutely.
And I have this phrase I say that, nobody became great thinking that they weren't.
Absolutely.
right? But we're told like it's too much ego and
So,
whatnot.
yep.
But it's like you gotta have faith in yourself, know that you're great,
Absolutely.
and be proud of who you are. Even though
It
the
starts
world,
in the mirror.
yes,
It starts with you. If because the world, one day you're here, then you're here. One day people love you. You do something, one thing wrong, and you have to be able to pull yourself back up.
Yeah.
It's like you have to believe in you. You have to trust you. That's where it starts. It starts within. And if you want anybody else around you to believe in you, trust in you, you have to first trust in yourself. And
Yeah.
that's what Kanye did. He matriculated through everything that tried to bring him down.
yeah. It's speaking of music, Michael Jackson has the song "I'm Starting with the Man in the Mirror."
I'm starting with
one
I'm
of my
asking him to
favorites.
change his way. Me too. Me too. Like,
So good.
yeah.
And that's another thing too. They tried to, God forbid anything, weird happened with Michael, but like the way he's one of the most talented musicians of all time.
Absolutely. And that's because he put that work in.
Yeah.
He worked. No, he was the greatest, still working.
Yeah.
That's what set him aside.
Sad what happened to him.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You can't help but think like, was there more going on there,
You know, we will never know because we weren't there, but legends live forever.
That's right.
And so that he left his mark.
Yeah.
In spite of you left your mark, we're still talking about you years later,
Yeah.
and you've been talked about since you were a kid. So at the end of the day, it's like he was here, he did his part, his will was done, and
He'll never be forgotten.
he'll never ever be forgotten.
And you can't help but also think like how difficult it was to be in the spotlight from such a young age. I know his dad was very hard on him. There's actually some theory that he, this is a bit grotesque, but that he was victim of what they call chemical castration.
Wow.
So that he could keep a high register. His father may have chemically castrated him.
Really?
Yeah. So imagine the
That's-
demons that you can't,
Yeah.
I'm sure it
Yeah.
was like made a huge impact on who he was as a person. So he had those kind of weird idiosyncrasies. But dude, thank God he walked this earth because his music
Absolutely.
shaped culture forever.
Still forever and ever. And again, he's just he didn't get to have a childhood. He didn't get to do a lot of things, but sometimes the sacrifices, my goodness, that people make to be great
Yeah.
comes with so many sacrifices. But we're
I,
going to live on with him,
Damn right.
through him.
I went to go see Jack Johnson the other night, and Ziggy Marley opened for him. And I couldn't help but be so moved by the Marley name, how his children have carried on his legacy.
Yes.
And there's a great documentary about Bob, and if I'm not mistaken, Bob was gunned down before a huge
Wow.
concert. It was going to be a benefit concert that could have potentially overthrown the government in Jamaica.
Wow.
And he was killed before that concert.
See.
So many great, powerful voices.
Power.
And often, sadly, black powerful voices are taken out of this world.
Yeah. Yeah.
But his family has like that legacy. That
Still,
Marley name will live on forever.
That's fertile soil.
Yeah.
That's good roots. And I love the Marleys. I love Ziggy, Lion. I love all of his songs, and I love the fact that it's still rooted in Bob's music. It's still love. It's
Love.
still peace. Ziggy says, is it Ziggy that has "Love Is My Religion"? No, Damien, I believe. "Love Is
Okay.
My Religion."
Yeah.
And so it's just they're still carrying that legacy.
Yeah.
And I think that's so amazing when you plant seeds into your kids, your grandkids, and they get to carry this on out. That's why it's so good to pour into your kids and show them that positivity, show them that light, show them that peace.
Yeah.
Because they remember. We remember when we grow up, what was that foundation in growing up and what kept us going. And it had to be love for him to survive and go through and teach so much.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. Like if I would have closed my eyes, he did a couple of his dad's songs. And if you close your eyes and listen to Ziggy doing some of his dad's music, it's
you
like
think it's him.
Yeah.
You think it's him.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
Such a blessing that we get to still experience that there was kids in the crowd, and there's
Yes.
This is like 3 generations later who
Still.
are being able to be witness to that love through music.
Yep. Yep.
How long have you been making music?
For about a good 10 years now. I started singing in the choir and things like that. I started taking it seriously when I moved to California about 5 years ago. And that's when I started writing my own music, and that was my voice. That was the only way I could cope with being out there by myself and figuring it out. And so I've been singing and doing music for about 10 years now.
Yeah. It's I'm always reminded of a Sprite commercial from the 90s with Alicia Keys.
Yes.
And one of the lines she says in this commercial is, what most people thought was an overnight success was 10 years in the making.
Absolutely. And the proof is in the pudding, because I think all my YouTube videos are from like 10 plus years ago.
Yeah.
You have gaps and you have moments where you were at rest, but you go and you start to really research these artists or artists that are serious about it, and you get to see, whoa, okay, this has been going on for a moment.
Oh, yeah.
Normally, nobody is an overnight success.
Right.
Because success comes with hard work.
That's exactly right.
And so you got to put in work. You have to put in work. So it's been a long time, and I think the more I do it, the more I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not rushing.
Yeah. You even if somebody's like song blows up overnight, it's still like Post Malone is a good example. Post Malone, he had that White Iverson song that really just went viral.
Yep.
But you can see that he was putting in work for 10 years before that song went viral.
He had music before that.
You know?
Just got a hit.
Yeah.
Once you get that hit, then people get to go back and say, oh, I like this song too.
Yeah.
This is nice also. But
He's dope.
Oh, my goodness. I love Post Malone.
Yeah. I thought he was going to be, when that song came out, I'm like, oh, this will probably be a one-hit wonder.
Yeah.
But his catalog is like, every song is just brilliant,
Absolutely.
Who inspires you?
I am a big fan of Kendrick Lamar. I love Kendrick. I love his music. I love the way he writes. I love the way he keeps his life to himself.
Ah.
I love just the way he moves. I feel like artists like that, you appreciate them more, because social media has opened up, so many doors where you get to see everybody's lives now, and it's like, I like it when it's a little, you don't know everything, and you have to listen to the music now. You're forced to listen to the music because it's like, I want to hear about your life. I want to hear.
Right.
But Kendrick is by far my favorite artist. I love Janet Jackson.
Yeah.
Major fan of hers. But Kendrick is by far my favorite.
Kendrick, and then if you think of like how you said they kind of stick to themselves and don't get caught up in the mix, I think J. Cole is in that pocket too, right?
Definitely up there with my favorite rappers too.
I see that there was a picture of him like just riding his bike through New York City, no security, because he makes such positive music, and it's like, do you think here's my tinfoil hat, do you think that there's maybe a concerted effort to put music to the top of the charts that will be detrimental to young people? Like music that talks about drugs, guns, violence seems to get pushed to the top.
And then the lyricists, the people that are really talking about the things that we need to hear.
Yes.
True love, mental health,
yes.
Peace, just what's going on in the world. I think that that sells. And you know, you got to think, if somebody's talking to you about something, or normally the wrong people start with the negatives. It's like that's what feeds off of, that's what makes the world go around, because they don't want too much positivity out here. Then the world will be just such an amazing place, right?
Yeah.
But I still think that it's for who it's for. And I think that if you research it, you'll find it, because it's out there.
Yeah.
The way it's promoted and things like that is different, but it's there, and I think that's why they keep putting it out no matter what. It's like, you might not hear this on the radio every day, but this is some good music.
You just got to keep putting it out.
You got to keep doing it.
And your listeners will find you, you know.
It's for who it's for. Like Jay-Z said, it ain't for everybody,
Right.
but it's for who it's for.
Yeah.
And normally the people that are listening to it, because those are like their Bibles, those are like their stories. And so if you like one of their followers, even J. Cole, it's like, oh, he's talking about meditation. Oh, wow, he's talking about mental health. Oh, he gives a suicide hotline at his concert.
No
Things
kidding,
like that.
does
Yeah, he one of his concerts, he actually talked about the number and said, this is who you call. And I think that's so important, because these kids are trying to keep up with the social media these days, and it's like, that stuff is fabricated. That's not real. Half of those things, you know, what's real?
Yeah. It's like I've heard somebody's social media described as their highlight reel. You know, it's like people are putting on their social media the best part of who they are.
Absolutely.
And it's often like, you know, inflated, not really real. But we, or young people, think that that's reality.
Absolutely.
And they're comparing themselves to that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think social media has been, it's like a double-edged sword, right? Because it's allowed us to stay connected.
Right.
And initially it was awesome. Like, you're rekindling friendships from people you went to high school with.
Yep.
And you can see your cousins from across the country, what they've got going on.
Absolutely.
It turned a little dark.
It is. It has. And I think that's why it's so important. You follow the right people, follow the right pages, because like I said, for these kids, it could just be so mentally just drowning for them. You know, it's like, no, my kid, you know, one day, you can't get on social media until a certain age.
Right.
Because you don't even need to see half of the things. Some of it, you got pages that feed off of negativity.
Oh, yeah.
And then you have these kids comparing themselves to this kid who their parents work in this type of job, and you know, and it's like, but at the end of the day, that's why I take my breaks, because I'm happy in real life. And you get to see seriously, because so many people are driven by that you don't even get out in nature, and you don't even get out in the real world out here. That's where the peace and all of that stuff is, off of that for a minute. 'Cause we're controlled. That's the control mechanism for, as you can see, you know, social media, they can control whatever you're looking at.
It's so true. And when you mention nature, I talked to a buddy a few weeks ago on the podcast about this connection that we don't know. Like, if you're in a metropolitan area, and you don't ever get into nature, you don't know what you're missing. But if you get out into nature and you take your shoes off and you put your feet in the dirt or in the grass,
absolutely,
it's like this primal thing. It's like food for your soul.
It is what you need.
And
More
I can't
people
help
need
but
it.
think, like, they want to prevent that.
Absolutely.
Like, they build these concrete buildings and air conditioning, and you go from one concrete building to another one and work and go back, and it's like, you know, you have to get out and reconnect with nature. Hold yourself accountable to that, you know?
Absolutely, because it's the earth. If God made heaven and earth, He made the earth for us to take advantage of. The water, it's healing. The sun, it's vitamins. The trees, they're therapeutic. You have to take advantage of the things that are out here and around you. But you won't know if you don't get out there and actually put down the phone for a moment or put down just whatever distractions are around. And a lot of times that's when I get my best songs, when I go and sit in nature and just let the wind speak to me, let the waves speak.
Yes.
It's so real. Like I went the other day and I was shooting this little video, and I was in the water and I started clapping, and the waves like shh, shh. It's like it started, and I was like, no way, no way. But if you've never been in that moment,
Yeah.
you wouldn't believe it.
Yeah.
But you have to. It's like it's therapy. It's another form of therapy. Getting in nature and spending some time alone with nature.
The alone part is also like very valuable, you know. We are very social creatures,
Yeah.
and we do, you know, we work best in small groups, but it's also important to find solitude
Absolutely.
and peace with yourself. And whether you call it the universe or God, or sometimes I just look to loved ones who have passed,
Absolutely.
and like that's who I kind of try to connect with when I'm alone outside in nature. You know, it's so important, and you can't be afraid to do it.
You can't be afraid to be alone. Most people in the pandemic it forced us to be with ourselves and
Yeah.
sit with yourselves. But a lot of people don't know how to be alone. I don't think because they don't want to sit with themselves.
Yeah.
Myself, I'm an introvert extrovert.
Yeah. Okay.
I spend most of my time alone, and every now and then I like to connect with people because you need to connect with others.
Yeah.
But you also need to find your soul purpose, your soul, what makes you happy, what makes you happy without someone else, what makes you find your wholeness, because that's when it's not you will not always have people around you. And I think it's so important to learn to love yourself
Yeah.
in that solitude, to
Yeah.
spend some time with you, spend some time making yourself happy, spend some time finding peace, spend some time loving on yourself.
Yeah.
And that's when you attract that other better half, or that better friend, or that better connection, because you've mastered it within yourself.
Yeah. Isn't that so funny? Like if you have a friend who's like, God, I just want a significant other. I want a boyfriend. I want a girlfriend. And they're basically like looking everywhere they can to find it. And the best advice you can often give is focus on yourself. Better yourself every day. And when you least
Absolutely.
expect it,
It'll come.
it'll come.
It'll come. Don't even be expecting it.
Right.
You be so caught up within yourself that it's almost like, wow, it's a shock.
Yeah.
That okay, wow. And hopefully when you're doing that with yourself, you're gonna attract somebody else who's doing that with themselves. They're not looking
Yes.
for anybody. And so now here you come, connecting and coming together, and it's like, oh wow, this is euphoria. This
Yeah.
is a different frequency. This is a different type of vibration. This is lovely,
Yeah.
But until you figure it out within yourself, you're just gonna be out here searching.
Well, not only that, but if you aren't bettering yourself and making and loving yourself, if you do find somebody, you're not going to be able to build a healthy relationship.
Absolutely.
Because you got to build the foundation within you.
Absolutely. Foundation.
So
Foundation
important.
is the key.
That's what I was so blessed with my wife. We say it often. Neither one of us were looking.
Wow.
We both came down to South Florida to better ourselves and focus on ourselves.
Wow.
And I went to go get sushi one night, and she was my bartender.
Wow.
And we ended up talking for like 3 hours about everything.
See, that's
And
organic.
we were married a year later to the day.
Lovely.
And now we're coming up on 5 years together, 4 years married, built 2 businesses. We're best friends.
That's it.
And
That's
we
the
weren't
way
looking,
it's supposed to
you
be.
know?
See? And look at what's being built from organically connecting with the right person.
Yeah.
It's a long process. You've been married for 5 years. You're building some amazing places. This place right here, oh my goodness.
Thank you.
Absolutely love it. Y'all
Thank
got
you.
to check out Hakuna Macabre,
Thank you.
because many people don't know about the kavas, but I don't drink at all, so I love the fact that it's pure, it's natural.
Yes.
It's from the root, I love this place.
So you don't drink alcohol?
at all.
Have you never drank alcohol?
No, I have drank alcohol.
Yeah.
After my 30th birthday, I want to say, I didn't drink alcohol anymore. It just doesn't sit right with me. It doesn't sit right with me at all. And this year has been my first time even trying the kava, and I've been telling so many people about it because I think I just believe in natural herbs, natural everything. I believe that the other stuff just comes with so many chemicals. Now, it's not to knock anybody.
Yeah.
You know, do your thing.
Yeah.
Whatever you love to do. If it makes you happy, I'm happy. But the natural route is more my steez.
Well, we're talking, if you were to say like Chinese medicine, which often gets like painted out to be like hoopla, like it's not real, but we're talking about people who for thousands of years have used herbs and natural elements to heal and better themselves.
Absolutely.
And I think there was like a push in the 50s to silence anything about natural medicines and push towards like synthetic medications. Kratom, for instance, has been drinking for thousands of years in Southeast Asia for pain relief and euphoria and whatnot. But it's under full-blown assault by the FDA.
Wow.
They want to ban it or put it as a Schedule 1 substance, yet have no problem with this opioid epidemic we have in our country.
Wow.
From synthetic opioids that they have no problem writing you a prescription for.
Absolutely. You make more money that way.
More money.
You're going to make money. So.
I like to say we don't have a healthcare system, we have a sick care system. Like with COVID, they didn't want to talk about like there's things you can do to stay healthy, to protect yourself.
You should absolutely. You should just. And that's for COVID, that's for getting sick, that's for anything, it's your temple. If you take care of your temple and you put the proper nutrients in that you're supposed to have, then it's going to last for a long time, like a car. If you take care of it with oil, put the oil in it, put the gas in it, do what it needs to do to continue to run, it'll continue running. But you have to put what's needed inside for it to continue to process and run. Yeah,
I have this thing that I say, like, okay, so if you think about the synergistic relationship between animals, like predator and prey, right?
Yes.
When if a lion were to eat a gazelle, like everything in that gazelle is designed for the lion. This sounds a little weird, but like the bones like clean its teeth, and the fur is like helps digestion, and the liver gives certain minerals and whatnot,
Absolutely.
Right? It's all by design. It's not by mistake. But we think it's okay to eat McDonald's every day.
Oh my goodness.
Right?
McDonald's is right. But then you get to you see different things of what the food does after a certain amount of time. If you really
have you
pay
seen
attention
that?
to absolutely.
Like a burger 10 years later that still looks the same?
Or putting flame to a French fry and it is just not doing anything, so you want to put that inside your body.
Yeah.
It's wanting better for yourself.
That's
you
right.
know, and it starts with you. Again, not knocking nobody who wants their McDonald's and like McDonald's. If that's your thing,
It's
you do your
a guilty
thing.
pleasure,
Yeah, but there's some better ways to eat and find your potatoes and French fries and burgers.
Do you follow a specific diet?
I do seafood only. More pescatarian. Pescatarian, yeah.
I've said it often. I could eat pescatarian, fish, seafood, some rice. If there's some islands in like the South Pacific and whatnot where these people live to be 110 years old, all they eat is vegetables and fish.
Yes. Yes. So I love it. I went to the Bahamas this summer and I got some fresh conch with mango, and oh my goodness, it was like, this is like fresh.
Yeah, divine.
Fresh. Like they went in the water and just grabbed this out of the water. It had to be.
Yeah.
That's when you know it's like just so fresh. But I drink nothing but water. Literally, this is my water. If I drink any juice, it's Simply Lemonade, strawberry lemonade.
Okay.
That's my favorite juice. But yeah, that's really it. I do a lot of fruit, vegetables.
It's so important. It takes self-discipline.
It
But
does.
it's interesting that like once you do it for a month, it almost feels like when you go back to the McDonald's, you're like, oh, this is disgusting.
You feel heavy.
Oh, and you feel terrible
You feel
afterward.
heavy, like
Yeah.
you're tired. You start to feel it. That's why I advise people to at least try it. You
Right.
know, even if you start with like a little minor fast or something, just try it and see how your body feels.
Yeah.
Because that's look what's playing,
Bob.
Bob. But that's what matters. You know what you're putting in. It makes you feel so much lighter. Like
Yeah.
I have so much energy. I get up, I work out every day, and I'm gonna just stay young forever.
Dang right.
It's like that's how you stay young.
What's your exercise routine like?
So it depends on the day. Like most Mondays, I'll go to the gym.
Okay.
I do a lot of leg and abs.
Yeah.
Tuesdays, I may go to the park and I do rollerblading around the court and I play
Nice.
basketball.
Yeah.
I'll sit out there and stretch. Wednesday, I might do the trail. I try to get in nature
Yes.
and do it. I'll take my kettlebells and stuff out there.
Yes.
But I play a lot of basketball and do a lot of rollerblading. And every now and then I go to the gym because I need the weights on my knees to, strengthen the core and strengthen my quads.
Yeah. I
But-
love that. It, there's this program called 75 Hard. Let me look it up real quick.
Okay.
But one of the rules is that you have to do 2 workouts a day. One of them
Okay.
has to be outside no matter what the weather is. And I
Ooh,
thought that was interesting.
that's interesting.
Right? Because you got to get out there in the heat or in the rain or in the snow, whatever it is, to be at one with nature. It's called hard because when you hear it, it's like, whoa, that's 75 hard workout.
Wow.
All right, let's see what the rules are here. What are the rules of 75 hard? Okay, 5 rules. Follow a healthy diet of your choosing. So whatever that diet is, if it's pescatarian or whatnot, no alcohol, right?
It's easy.
Work out twice a day, every day, for 45 minutes per day. 1 workout must be outside.
Okay.
Drink 1 gallon of water a day.
Oh.
Take progress pictures every single day. And read 10 pages of a self-help book every day.
I love that.
Doesn't that sound like awesome?
That's perfect. What is that called?
It's called 75 Hard.
75 hard. Oh yeah. I'm
I mean, this sounds like the life that you currently are living, you know? There could be maybe a couple things where it's like adding the 10 pages or whatever.
yeah, I read a lot. I'm reading right now the Energy Codes.
I
It's
don't
by
know
I think
this.
Sue Porter.
Okay.
Yeah, it just teaches you how to just tap into your energy from a scientific, science method or
Yeah.
science view
Okay.
of things, and it's interesting. It's very interesting because it just teaches you so much. I've read one of my favorite books is The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. I don't
I
know if
haven't
you
heard of this one
know.
either.
Oh, Deepak Chopra,
Okay, I know that name.
The Alchemist.
I don't know.
Oh man.
You got to put me on game here.
Okay, yeah, you gotta get these books right here. They'll change your thinking.
Yes.
You know, it's more. It'll be more inner. It'll be more of manifestation. It'll be more of like just releasing. Just going with the flow of life, going with the flow and not stressing too much. People like, you have so much faith. Why don't you stress out? Because it's like, for what?
Right.
The cup half empty or half full. It's the way you look at it. Each day I get up and I'm like, I am blessed to still be here.
This.
Thank you.
You are speaking my language.
Gratitude.
It's not easy to do,
It's not.
but because it's almost like we've been trained not to, and misery loves company, so you find like your friends who you think are so important, like these are my friends, or like often they'll be the ones who are like perpetuating this negativity.
Yes.
You got to be able to
Yes.
cut ties.
Absolutely.
And gratitude
Gratitude.
will like, sometimes I like to say that like you are the Picasso of your existence.
Absolutely.
Paint a masterpiece.
Absolutely.
And it starts with like gratitude. So if you wake up and you're frustrated, you're worried about your bills or something a friend said, and that what fills your mind all day, it will ruin. It's like stubbing your toe when you get out of bed.
Absolutely.
What you need to do in that moment is shift to gratitude.
Shift your thinking. Shift your mind.
What am I grateful for? People are like, well, my life is shit. I hate my boss. I hate my job. What could I be grateful for? That you woke up.
Absolutely.
Just like you said.
You woke up. And it's 9 times out of 10, it's not even that bad.
Yes.
It's like, I hate my job, but you have a job.
Yeah.
How blessed are you? Because you got some people that don't even have a job.
Right.
Oh, I'm hungry. I want to eat this. I don't want this. But you have food
Yes.
to eat, you know?
Yes.
And when we shift that shifts our mind because it starts here. It starts here.
Yes.
We think it's our brain functioning, no, but you can actually master that brain to function the way it needs to function because there is something, it may not be everything going right in that day, but there is something going right in that day.
Yeah. Not only that, but when things don't go right, often you see later that they went that way to serve you better.
A lesson.
You know?
Absolutely.
And you have to be able to, like, if I get caught in traffic, I do this trick with my mind where I tell myself, this is, God forbid, keeping me out of a car accident that I could have gotten in if I would have been on time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I believe that everything is happening the way it's supposed to happen.
Absolutely.
You know? And I tell myself, like, the universe, it's like a conspiracy theory to make everything go good for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Absolutely. And it's easier said than done because we're human beings.
Right.
It's easier said than done, but you have to, again, be the master of your life.
Yes.
And so how do you want to paint your life? How do you want your life to be? I can't walk around with negativity. It's like the world is full of negativity. Why would I even want to be around that? And that's why you have to channel what channels inside of you. You have to channel what you allow in your space. Because again, a lot of times we depressed or somebody's depressed because you're comparing or you're not really, you don't really need anything today, but you want that, you know? And it's just like, nope, gratitude, gratefulness, love, wholeness, peace, find all of that. Just find it and watch life gets a little easier for you.
It truly does. And you mentioned manifestation.
Mm-hmm.
Some people think that's like ridiculous. Like life just happens to me. I'm a victim of my circumstance. And people don't realize that if you focus, what you think about and think about, you bring about, right?
Yep.
If you focus on your goal,
absolutely,
and you show gratitude for everything that's going right in your life, and you work your ass off, you can build the life of your dreams.
Absolutely.
I believe that.
I believe it too. I believe it. Everything that I've ever said I've wanted to do or done and put the work in, it's happened. And I feel like that's what manifestation is. It's belief. It's believing in what you want. It's seeing it before you receive it. It's being in that moment. It's having faith. Faith without works is dead. So you got to put that work in.
Yes.
But you still have to believe it. It's like if somebody else can do it, then so can I.
That's right.
You know, it's like, why not? Why not you?
Why not you?
Why not
me?
You know?
If somebody's going to get it. But see, too often people have this mentality of, oh, must be nice.
Right.
You know, and they say comparison. You mentioned that comparison is the thief of all joy.
Absolutely.
Right? And you'll be watching the Kardashians thinking like, oh, must be nice to have all that money. That mentality inherently puts you outside of what is nice.
Yep.
You have to look at that as like, oh, that's going to be great when I have that.
Absolutely.
I'm going to love it when I get to that point.
Absolutely.
What do I need to do to get from A to B?
How they work, what worked for them, or, you know, just congratulations, kudos to you, because it's like giving them why are we hating? It's nothing to, you did what you needed to do, you got there, congratulations to you.
Yes.
More power to you. I'm gonna be there one day.
Yeah.
But you know what? You did that.
Yeah.
Why? You know, because that is a blockage for you. You know, it's like that's blocking your blessings. Well, I'm gonna hate on somebody else's blessing because my blessings coming. Everybody is gonna walk into what they're supposed to walk into. But you can't be out here just being negative and hating and things like that, because it's like you won't receive what you're supposed to be receiving because you're so angry.
it's so true what you're saying about blocking. Like, you're creating your own barricades
Yeah.
because you're too worried about being frustrated that they have it and you don't.
Absolutely.
You need to be thinking about, wow, that's amazing they did that. Now, like, what am I going to do to get there? You know?
Absolutely.
And when you congratulate people and you give people their roses, I think the universe rewards you for that.
You get full reward.
That's
you
like
know?
that paying it forward
It's what
deal.
you give. It's what you put out is what you receive.
Yes,
That's real. Law of attraction.
that's right.
What you put out is what you receive.
Yeah.
And I think that's the realest thing that you can never know and go with.
Yeah.
Because if you put out negativity, that's what your life is going to be surrounded by. But if you're putting out positivity, you're going to walk into abundance. You're going to walk into a lot of positive things.
Yeah. The problem is some people don't realize they're doing it.
Yep.
It's just baseline for them to be
Absolutely.
frustrated, to be negative. You know, it's like, that's why it's like, if you're a good friend to somebody
Yep.
and you see them acting that way, one, be honest with your friend. And tell
Absolutely.
them, like, listen, this mindset is not serving you.
It doesn't work.
And the opposite side of that is, if you have a close friend who comes to you and tells you that some of your behaviors are not serving you,
Yes.
don't dig your heels into the sand.
Right. Listen.
Be open to that.
Listen. Absolutely. Listen.
You know?
And take it in, you know, take it in, take what you need, you know, and you know, go and evaluate yourself
Yes.
and see, you know, it starts with us. Nobody can tell you or change you or make you be who you need to be, only yourself. And
Yeah.
so you really have to wake up sometimes and say, okay, what part did I play in this? How can I be a better person? How can I grow? We should aspire to grow every single day.
Yes.
Every single day.
Too often are people like, well, this is who I am.
Absolutely. This me and this how you got to deal with it. No, you shouldn't. I'm not the same person I was in high school.
Right.
I'm not the same person I was yesterday. 'Cause
Yeah.
each day I'm growing. I'm going to be a different person every single day.
Yeah, and if you don't grow, like, you want to just live a life of stagnant,
Right.
stuck in this place, you got to grow and change. Like, my
You
wife
have
was
to.
the big catalyst for me. She held a mirror up. You know how it's like, I'm
Yeah.
starting with the man in the mirror?
Yep.
She held that mirror up for me.
Wow.
And it was a hard pill to swallow. One of the things she said was, every day doesn't need to be the Blake show.
Wow.
And that was the hardest thing I ever heard, because I'm
Wow.
like, well, that's like who I am. Like,
Right.
I like to entertain and I like to have fun, but it was like a check on my ego, you know? And I used to have this thing where even if I was talking about something that I did as a group, my pronoun I would use was I instead of we.
Okay.
And she's like, listen, everything's not I.
Yeah.
So I had to change my approach, but boy, it was a hard pill to swallow.
Wow.
But it's made me a better man.
You grow. You grow.
Yeah.
A lot of things are hard for us to swallow. Like, whoa, that's me. But then it's like, yeah, that's you. Grow. You want to be better. And then again, that's when you start to attract these great things
Yeah.
because the growth brings growth.
Yeah.
And so look at all the amazing things just from a few changes that take time.
Yeah.
But from a few changes, where you are, where you've been, you know, what you're able to accomplish.
You got to build on small successes too. You can't expect, like, okay, well, today I'm going to have gratitude, and then tomorrow it's like, well, I'm not a millionaire yet. It's like,
Right.
dude, you got to build on tiny,
Every day.
small successes. And grow.
Absolutely.
And then before you know it, you'll be looking back and saying, damn, look how
Wow.
far I've come.
Look how far I've come. And a lot of times when you do that, when you wake up with that, like, then you'll have gratitude,
Yeah.
because I guarantee a lot of us aren't where we were last year.
Right.
We've come a long way. Instead of looking to your left and your right, look straight ahead and look in the mirror,
Yeah.
and then look back over your life and see how far you've come. And I guarantee you will have something to be grateful about.
Yeah, so true. Your creative process. Let's go back to music. So you are ready to write a song, right? What does that look like for you? Do you start with the instrumental? Do you start with a melody for a chorus? What's your preferred method of creating?
So I think it depends on where I am or what I'm writing about, because A lot of times I go right at the scenic view. I go to the water. That's kind of where I write. That's where I get to create these scenic views or the water. If I hear a beat I like, then I kind of already just come up with like a chorus and just start singing. Or I hear like a song on the radio, and a lot of times I'll get a medley or something in my head,
Yeah.
and I'll just put it in my voice recording,
Yep.
and then I'll go find the beat. But
Yep.
most of the times, again, it's life, and so I'll just start thinking of like bars or a song, and it'll just come, and then I put that in my notes, go find a beat, and lay it down on that. Now, if I hear a beat that I like,
Yeah.
it's almost easy to just come up with something if the beat already speaks to me.
Speaks to me. You
If
took the
the
words
beat-
right out of my
Yeah,
mouth.
if the beat is already like, I'm like, okay, this is what I'm about to say, dun, 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 you know, or I'll just start humming something,
Yeah.
and then write it out, and literally I've mastered it.
Yeah.
I've been able to master it. I'm still growing.
Right.
I think we always can grow, but I like to listen to a lot of artists and kind of see how they used to like the greats, see how they write.
Yeah.
And like I said, the scenic view, again, I go surrender and I say, all right, I talk to God. I'm like, hey, all right, I'm here to write a song. I have to get this off my chest.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's like, I gotta write this song. And before I know it, I'm looking at the lyrics and I'm like, whoa, who wrote this song?
Yeah.
Like, where did this come from?
I didn't even know I felt this way.
I did not know I felt this way. I didn't even know I can like make this verbiage sound like
Right.
this.
Articulated in this manner.
Yes, and so it's amazing, and a lot of times that's when I see God work, because it's like, what? I wrote that?
Yeah.
No, that wasn't all me.
No, it was divine intervention.
It was not all me, and again, it because like I said, I've done a lot of writing. It just comes with so much growth. It comes with so much healing. It comes with just releasing. Like sometimes it's like a journal.
Yes.
It's like your journal. It's like some songs may make it out, some songs may not, but God darn it, I got to release it.
Yeah. I think about that often of like, because I've been able to use songwriting as a way to release things that I had inside.
Yes.
That how sad I feel for some people who have to keep that caged in.
Absolutely.
You need a creative release.
You have to have that, because it's like a coping mechanism.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've lost some people that I feel like if they had just a little bit of a way to channel that and create, then some of the decisions that were made wouldn't have been made. But everybody doesn't know how to tap into that. And some parents don't allow kids to even tap into it, because like, no, you're not about to go play sports or this and that. But a lot of kids that I meet are creators, they are writers.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, you would have never known them because they're so quiet.
Right.
A lot of them are quiet, but a lot of the quiet ones have the most to say.
Yeah. That's so true. Do you ever find yourself like 6 months have gone by and you haven't created anything and you're like, do I even make music anymore? And then all of a sudden you get in the studio and it's like, oh shit, I just like had to live life for 6 months and like I'm back. Or are you constantly
Absolutely.
creating?
No, absolutely. I take breaks. I make sure I take breaks.
Yeah.
I need a moment of, I feel like I'm always creating, because if I'm not writing, I'm taking pictures of nature, like I'm doing something creatively.
Right.
But I give myself breaks, because now I don't always want to talk. I don't always want to be in the studio. Sometimes I want to just go and chill with myself and not think at all.
Yeah.
I don't want to think about creating. I don't want to think about bills. I don't want to think. I just want to be.
Yeah.
And so in those moments, I give myself breaks. I take breaks off of social media. I take breaks from creating. I don't think you ever take a break from creating as a creator, though. Because if you're listening to music, you're always like vibing to this or
Yeah.
something like that. But yeah, I do. And then when I get back in it, it's like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, I gave myself time off. It's time to hit the ground running now.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I felt that recently. So in 2016, my brother passed away, sadly.
Oh, wow.
And I then kind of spiraled a bit and was drinking a lot every night. But during that time, I also basically wrote a whole album with all my friends around. Like, we would leave the bar, and it was pretty self-destructive, but I got a lot out, and it was basically a whole album. But after the end of that 6 months, I was like at the bottom of the bottom, and I had a close friend say, like, you need to really get your shit together, you know? So I packed up my recording studio in North Carolina, all my electronics. I drove down here, and I made a vow to myself to not focus on music until I had my life together, because I would often treat making music like a drug, where I would allow all of the other things in my life to go to the wayside, because I was sure any day now I'm going to sign a record deal.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure if I would ever make music again. Then I get married, we build our last business, COVID just decimated that business, we build this business, and then we've been here for a little over a year now, and during this time, like, really talented musicians have come through the door.
Wow.
And they would just sit downstairs and do jam sessions, and it was almost like the universe brought music back into my life.
Yep.
And then this guy comes in a few months ago, and he hears one of my old songs, from 2016 that nobody really heard. He said, would you like do this song to open up for me at this show?
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, I've got my shit together. Yeah,
Full
I could do
circle.
that. And then, I go out there. I've got 65 of my friends in the crowd.
There we go.
And it felt like I was back and better than ever.
See? You need those breaks.
Yeah.
And you were able to do a song that you had written back then, and it brings back that moment that you were in when you wrote that song.
Yeah.
And now this person is their first time hearing it.
Right.
It's
new to
fresh,
them.
It's fresh to them.
Yeah.
But it's older to you, but now you've been able to rest on it. You've been able to take your moment, hit the bottom.
Yeah.
So now you get this opportunity, and you're excited about it, because it's like, woo, this is my element that I'm in again. I found it again. It found me, actually.
It found me again.
And so that's that full circle.
Yeah.
That's that full circle, because now you're on a journey of getting yourself together, and that was what you love to do.
Yeah.
And so.
And I have this newfound humility that I told you my wife helped me find.
Absolutely.
Of letting my ego go to the side a bit. And so now I'm able to approach it in a stance of like, when I'm performing, okay, it's a bit of bravado and a bit of ego, but when I step off of that stage, I'm able to be grounded and grateful, which I wouldn't have been, 6 years ago. It was like I was an egomaniac.
Yeah.
So it's just funny the way the universe works.
Yeah,
You got to be willing to dial back.
Humbly, be humble.
Yeah.
That humility is everything.
Yeah.
That humility is when you realize you're great, but you always have room to grow.
Yeah.
That's humility. It's like, and it's appreciated. It's appreciated. It's like, oh, okay. It makes people know that you're human.
Yeah.
You're a person. We're people. We're a human being, But that's so cool that you were able to come down here and perform your song. And
I'm back.
You back. Let's go.
So we're going to plan a show together.
We're planning a show together.
Sick. It'll be in November. We'll get a specific date. I'm really excited to get creative together, do a show.
I'm excited.
Maybe we can even get in the studio and see if we can create together.
I think that's so good. That's what I'm eager to do this time around. To just collab with everybody.
Yeah.
At different walks of life, just everybody, just collab and see what type of music we can make.
Yeah.
And again, it's like that love, that energy, that vibration of this music, these hi-hats, these 808s, and seeing what we come up with.
Crack the door and let God in.
Let God come in and do the thing.
I'm with it. Can we play this song?
Absolutely.
So sadly, because I've got this new mixer, you and I won't be able to hear it.
Okay.
But all of our viewers and listeners will be able to hear it. Why don't you give us a little bit of background about this song?
Okay, so everybody, I just put out an album called Come As You Are. It's so funny because when I met Blake, I said, what should I say when I come, or what do I need to prepare? He was like, just come as you are.
Yes.
And I said, oh, that's confirmation right there. Nevertheless, this song is Elohim. Written to God. All my music is written to God. It's bridging the gap through love. This is Elohim. It's kind of just ride with me. You'll never switch sides on me. God is teaching me your ways. You're guiding me. Your word set me free, the greatest love of all. And so this is Elohim, directed by myself, written by myself, produced by my guy Lottery. And so it's the first single off the song. I'm sorry, first single off the album, Come As You Are.
Dope. This is Jakia, Elohim.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm so sorry we can't hear it.
Nah, that's okay. Hey.
So much energy. We can't hear it, but just watching it, I can just see it's like
Yeah.
you're so full of life, dude.
Yay, thank you.
Now I gotta go listen to it. And again, I'm sorry that we can't monitor it, but everybody else will be able to hear it.
Absolutely. I hope y'all love it.
Where
I
was
love
that filmed?
It was filmed at Dyer Park.
Where's Dyer Park?
That's on near Blue Heron.
Really?
Uh-huh.
It looks like you're like in the country, like
That place is so, you can actually, and that's a scenic view, you can drive up this rocky area and you're in this big, huge field.
oh, sick.
And so I was just
You look like you're having so much
What?
fun, dude.
like just going crazy in that field. It was just like freedom.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Now, were you also heavily involved with the editing process of the video as well?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I did the editing.
Yeah. Oh, you
Yep.
did it.
Mm-hmm.
What software do you use?
So I use iMovie.
Oh, yeah.
I use
Excellent.
iMovie. I use Canva.
Excellent.
Yep.
I've done, I was literally the same way. Like, I would have my buddy hold the camera. I'd tell him what shots to get. He'd tell me what shots to get. And then I would go cut it up in iMovie.
Absolutely.
And as long as you don't use like the iMovie like funny transitions and you just
Right.
use basic like blends and cut shots,
Yep.
like it looks fantastic.
It
I
looks
would've-
amazing.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
It looks
dude.
amazing. And then I'm trying to learn. What's the other one? Is it
There's Logic, not Logic. That's audio.
I was about to say Logic too.
Let me see here.
Dog it.
Video editing software. There's like the quintessential ones that you use.
Is it Logic? It's not
Premiere Pro.
Premiere Pro.
Yes.
Premiere Pro. That's I'm gonna be tapping into a few other ones to try to learn them. The DaVinci is one I heard about recently. That's
Oh, and Final Cut Pro.
Final Cut Pro is the
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
Yep.
Final Cut.
Yep.
Which I've heard that iMovie has kind of like taken, like it's very similar. It's just with
Yep.
Final Cut, you can do like more stuff.
More. Yep.
And then you start messing around with After Effects, Adobe
Yes.
After Effects.
Yes.
You can do some crazy stuff.
Absolutely.
I got a good buddy who's also a videographer. Shout out Foja. Maybe
Shout
I can
out.
link you guys up. And he does some
Absolutely.
wild After Effects
I
stuff.
love that.
Sometimes it's nice to be able to kind of relinquish some of that to somebody
It'll
else.
be amazing.
Right,
It
yeah.
just normally does. Normally,
You got to create visuals.
you got to create the visuals, and you have to work with the right people because it's been so many times where I've relinquished and lost so much money. As an artist, as an indie artist, you take a lot of L's sometimes, and that's when you start to be like, okay, I know that if I did this, but it's also good to create with other people
Yeah.
because I love the cinematic look, you
Right.
know, and sometimes you don't see everything.
Right.
Somebody else could see something or have this vision or this mask or this transition that it's like, no, I see this. So
Yeah.
I'm always open to connecting and working with others.
I'll link you guys up and see if you guys can get creative together.
Let's go.
Jakia, I can't thank you enough for sitting down and chatting with me today. Your spirit
Absolutely.
is vibrant.
Thank you.
You are a wonderful young woman, and
you, thank
I'm
you.
excited to see what the future holds for you. And I'm sure it's all going to be nothing but blessings.
Thank you, and thank you for having me. This is such a vibe. Again, you
pleasure.
know, I come in here and just vibe out in here. This is an amazing place, and
Thank
I'm
you.
so thankful that you had me on here.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see what we're about to do. I know we're about to get out here and just bring the energy, bring some love and light to the
Yeah.
world.
Let's do it. Now,
Let's
speaking
do
of
it.
energy, you perform with a marching band. Is that correct?
I performed my first show out here, Come As You Are.
Yeah.
I had a live marching band.
That's so sick. I hope we're able to facilitate that for the show we do in November.
Hey, we'll make it happen.
All right, cool. Cool. Jakia, if people want to find you on social media and keep up with all your happenings, what's the best way to do that?
Everything is I Am Jakia. YouTube, I Am Jakia. Instagram, I Am Jakia.
Cool. And it's Jakia.
Jakia. And don't forget, I have some oils for you.
Oh,
for my
like
business.
essential oils? Do you
Fragrance
also,
oils.
You sell essential oils?
I sell oils, apparel, and
Amazing.
for my business, Dove's Eye Ink. So I have some oils. I have a CD for you.
Awesome.
And I'm definitely here gonna gift it for
See,
you.
we're old school. We still like a CD. Like I love that. Some of these kids are gonna be like, "What's a CD?"
What's a CD?
Isn't that wild?
That's so wild. I did it like that because you don't get that often.
Yeah.
You're not getting. I wanted you all to have like a hard copy of something.
Yes.
You know, something that when the internet dies down or something,
Yes.
you have a hard copy of something. That's history.
Yeah.
That's what books are. It's like What if the internet crashes
Yeah.
and you can't get on the internet? That's why you buy books, you buy CDs.
That's right.
You buy these things so that you can have them in your hand.
Yeah.
Concrete.
If y'all don't have a CD player, go buy a CD
Go
player.
get a CD
Get
player.
you some CDs.
Get you some CDs
It's
now.
so true. Remember when you used to have the CD book in your car with
Yeah,
all the different
my brother,
stuff?
absolutely. With all your CDs, you had the
Yes,
covers. I
yes.
still have it. I actually just ordered Kendrick's vinyl.
Sick.
And it should be on the way. I cannot wait to get it, and I'm gonna be going to the concert.
I love that artists are doing that now with vinyl.
Vinyls, yes.
Yeah.
Give us something to hold.
Yeah.
Even the cassettes. I'm
Right.
still into cassette players.
Look at, you see this?
That's what I love. This. I was looking at that. I love that.
I found this at a thrift shop. It's in like perfect condition.
See.
Some people, they're like, "What is that?"
It's so eclectic, like
Yeah.
it's so cool. I love that. But again, I'm old school, so
Yeah.
I feel like we need to have, like I said,
Like,
those
bring
hard
analog
copies.
back.
Absolutely. Digital is cool, but that real rough, that you could touch.
Yeah.
and you might can read an autobiography in there. You know, you used
It's
to
so
go
true
to
and
that.
so important in a digital world to have something physical, tangible that you can hold that was
Absolutely.
created by somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Jakia, I have the utmost respect for you, and I
Thank
truly
you.
appreciate you sitting down with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Looking forward to the show in November. We'll get it dialed in.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Cool.
Cool. You guys, thanks for being a fly on the wall during this
Thank
conversation. Make sure you go follow Jakia. If you like what you heard today, like, follow, subscribe, comment, do all the things, press all the buttons.
Absolutely.
And we'll see you next time live from Hakuna. Thanks, y'all.
See you live from Hakuna. Thanks, y'all.
Bye.